That's why I call it harmony content.
It's funny you give that example because I did something similar without meaning to. Here in Australia, it's summertime and we had a massive heat wave, and I was recording a podcast, putting on the makeup, and my makeup was like melting off as I'm putting it on. And I
I
just
know how
did a
it
quick
feels.
story on Instagram about that, and I had a lot of engagement just on
Yeah.
that and sort of that behind the scenes moment, and a lot of people saying they wanted to change places with me, but their cold climates would kill me, so I had to decline
Right.
those offers.
Totally. I come from the cold, so yeah. But do you see how like we're connecting over this, we're
Yeah.
trust being built, and you're like, I really like her. I like her energy. She's like, I'm getting a sneak peek into her world. And yes, we can do this
Mm.
on stories too.
Hello there, I'm your host, Tiffany G, an Australian business and mindset coach with 10 years' experience in online marketing and the creator of the Business Bravery framework. I help coaches to be brave so you can sign more clients even if you hate marketing and sales feel icky. From signing your next paying clients through to launching that dream group coaching program, the Business Bravery framework helps you take bigger leaps without the mindset spirals. It's helped my clients double their investment in me, make thousands of dollars, and truly build their dream business. In this episode, I had the pleasure of chatting with Lyndsi Weise, a lead gen strategist and social media coach specifically focused on helping you grow a wildly profitable Facebook group. We dive into the exact strategies Lyndsi uses to help coaches turn Facebook groups into client generating communities, including how to name your group so it gets found, how to mix personal and business content to build trust, and how to network in a way that actually feels good. On a more personal note, Lyndsi shares her struggles with infertility, hiring a coach, stepping into leadership, and more. If you're a coach wanting to grow your online business and sign more clients through connection and community, this episode is packed with actionable tips. With that said, this is an amazing episode, and I can't wait to share with you Lyndsi's stories of business bravery, past, present, and future. Now, who's ready for some business bravery inspiration? Let's dive in. Hello, hello everyone. I am super excited to be here with my amazing guest this week, the amazing Lyndsi Weise. And I'm super excited to dive in and find out more about what she has going on. Lyndsi, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and sharing your stories of bravery today. Tell us a little bit more about who you serve and how you help people, and then we'll get into the bravery stuff after.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I am excited to be here. This is such a cool topic. I feel like I could talk about all the bravery. There's so many things. So I I work online first and foremost. I teach people how to build community through building a Facebook group with my framework that helps them attract in cold leads, convert them to clients, and like, what are we doing inside of the group? How are we doing all of that? So that is what I do as a coach. And it all started, and this is a bravery story. It really did start. I started in the direct sales world, which is network marketing. And I was in the corporate space. So I was doing the 9 to 5, went to college, got the degree, thought that was like the route to grow. And I'm very ambitious and I wanted to do big things since I was a little girl. And I just remember being in that space and being like, this is it. This is what this is like. And it was semi toxic. It wasn't that great of a pay. It was taking away so much of my time. And I wasn't even a mom yet, didn't have kiddos yet. I had just gotten married. And I recall one of the greatest things happened, and they moved the company to a different state. At the time, I was living in Chicago, Illinois, and they moved the company and they were like, you could come with us. And I was like, no, thanks. Very bittersweet moment for me. But I just remember thinking to myself, like, I am a hard worker and I really want to climb a ladder. And there were so many obstacles. There were so many obstacles in the corporate space. And I was like, I have the degree, like I did all the things you're supposed to do. Why is this the way it is? And I realized, like, okay, maybe I should do something on my own or something like that. And at the time, I was just kind of like looking at what that could look like. And I got this wild Facebook message. I don't know about you, but if you ever gotten one of those cold DMs, the big long ones with join this, here's my link, buy this, like all in one message. That was the first time I'd ever heard from this person. And I was like, is this a robot? What is happening? And at the time, I had been posting things on Facebook, and I'd been going to the gym, working with a trainer, and she was involved in like a health and fitness business. And so naturally, she saw what I was doing and was like, "Oh, you'd be so great at what I do," which was in a way smart. But I thought she was a robot. And so instead of like really like blocking or yelling back or like, don't send me a call, like what a lot of people tend to do, blasting her, I chose to just follow. And I was like curious. I was like, who is this? And so she painted this picture of how she was able to work this career, this business around her kids' schedule, and how she was getting paid to work on her health goals, and how she was going shopping. And she would share this same exact story week after week after week. And I remember just watching and thinking that whatever this is, yeah, I should sign up. This sounds great. But then I was also like, this sounds like a scam. So I was going back and forth, and it took me months, and I should have gone faster, but it is what it is these days when we're like unsure of the person who has an opportunity for us. But I did eventually say, okay, I want to do this, and she was certainly still messaging me. And I remember like saying, okay, tell me what to do. And they all told me, this team was like, send out these messages to people, go find cold people. And I was like, no, I'm not doing what you did to me, even though that's worked over time. And so I opened a Facebook group, because we barely had any other platforms at the time. I think Instagram had just come about. And
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna use the group to attract in people who don't know me, build the trust in there with them by building community, and then I will talk to them about what I have to offer. Yeah. And what happened was I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I started to build out a team, and I was able to duplicate this process and teach this to the team. And so fast forward, here's where the bravery starts to come in. I will say, amidst all of that, this is a great personal thing that took place. I went through an infertility battle and ended up with twins. So a little bravery on the side. So here we are building this business, and we find out that I have twins coming. And then I also hired a coach. So I had this business. It was going so well. I was at the top of the company. I was like hitting all these goals. And I remember hiring a business coach, and she was like, what are you doing? And why do you need me? And I was like, I need to get to the next level. I need your help. And she was like, okay, but what are you doing? Because you're clearly doing well. Like we were scaling, we were going well. It was growth. And I, for some reason, was not like seeing this. And she was like, okay, what are you doing like step by step? Like step 1, step 2, step 3. And I'm like, oh, well, I bring them into a Facebook group. I nurture, get to know, build trust through content. And I have different like strategy for how I would do that. And then I move them into customer partner, like whatever that looked like. And I remember her thinking like, okay, you have a solid system. Suddenly it clicked that I had this amazing system in place. And it expanded to her saying, why are you not teaching this to other people? And this is in 2015. 2015, she told me this. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. I don't need to do that. I was so nervous and so scared, so much imposter of like, who am I to get out there? And it's probably one of the biggest challenges that I have personally dealt with, or personally, more like professionally dealt with. And I started speaking though. I was like, okay, here's what I'll do. I will start teaching this framework to the top leaders in this organization. I started getting flown to different cities to speak on this topic. I was asked to speak multiple times, keynote type of, talking at different events about how I'm creating sales, how I'm doing the thing. And she was like, you, I'm telling you, you should do something. And I literally went from 2015 to 2023, so almost 10 years.
Mm.
And in 2023, I launched it into a program. So I took the framework, I put it into a course,
Mm.
and I launched that program. And I finally branched off and became a coach and started teaching others and expanded to even working with coaches, course creators. I've worked with authors. I worked with all different kinds of entrepreneurs in how to build a Facebook community for multiple reasons and how it would be very valuable, very profitable for them. So that is how we're here today. And that took me almost 10 years to like have the courage to put it out there, but we did it. We
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah. Hang on. So can I just check? So you were talking to people face to face and on stages and in rooms and things like that and teaching this system that way. And over that 8 year period, 2015 to 2023, and then you put it into an online course. Is that right? Or it was you talked about it on a couple of stages and then it was in the background and you didn't think about it and
Yeah, I would say a couple different cities I went and talked and spoke to rooms, a lot of virtual
yeah.
calls.
Mm.
So it wasn't all stages, but it was a mixture where a team would bring me on, I would teach the framework, and they were just like, wow, I've never really thought about running a group like that. Like people have
Yeah.
this perception of Facebook and groups and they think
Mm.
it's too noisy, it's their Facebook's dead, nobody's out there, like they have no idea how effective they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a mixture of virtual, a mixture of some actual in-person work. And
Mm.
then yes, during like after I think I spoke 2019, I got up and did a thing and I was in Atlanta, and then the world kind of shut down. So then, and the big thing for me was I was just so in the zone of the one business instead
Mm.
of really expanding myself and letting myself like
Mm.
be the service, right? I was always
Yeah.
behind products and things, which I still think is great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
Yeah.
it did like kind of block me from bringing Coach Lyndsi out.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So that's a really interesting thing then. So like what kind of perspective shifts or things did you have to go through in order to let Coach Lyndsi out? What was that going like, if you don't mind me asking, like I had to go through a similar thing going from services to coaching. I'd love to hear your experience on that and yeah.
I have to, I think it was starting to eat at me inside a little bit or a lot. I would hear like and feel it in my gut like, hey, why are we not doing this? Look at all these people. Look at
Mm.
this internet. All of these connections you have. Look at all this following,
Yeah.
all these people that you could help genuinely. Because I was able to create for a decade. That company that I was part of is now gone. And that's another thing to take note of is like it's good to be diversified. So that's part of it too, is like have your thing. I believe you should have your thing. Like I think that's great. And I think it can complement affiliate marketing, network marketing, whatever that looks like. And so that was part of it, but also like the voice of like you really do have something that could really impact people and nobody's talking about it. Like everyone's teaching TikTok and Instagram and these other social platforms. And the other thing that I bring to the Facebook group world is I also teach you how to build your email list. I teach you like there's back end to it as well. And so
Yeah.
I think it was just this intuitive gut, like I need to do this. And I would just take like baby steps, teaching a team, and
Yeah.
then slowly but surely launched it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love that. And I think that it's amazing after like so many years in business too. It's like there's still this new level for you to move into. And then it was still like, okay, I'll just do baby steps. I'll just do what I can handle. Like I really like how you moved through that. That's very inspirational. And yeah, oh gosh, I've got so many questions to ask. Especially because like I've been in online marketing since 2011, and like I remember back like when I got interested in building more of my own business in about 2015, and like I think Facebook group marketing was one thing in 2015, and like I think it's similar, but I think it maybe works a little differently now. Considering, well, although maybe you'll tell me it's exactly the same, nothing has changed, and just get on this. But I feel back in, 2015 or, for me, I think 2017 when I first started getting like more clients and things, it was way easier to do stuff on Facebook. There was less noise, less people. Like at least that's been my
Yeah,
perspective looking back on it at the time. But yeah, I don't know. Would you say it's kind of the same now or yeah.
I think so. I think the key is really knowing what group you belong in to do the connection. I also find that a lot of people don't build their own group. They just go in groups to find clients. And that's interesting to me because
Yeah.
this is your space. Like there's so much value to everybody's fighting to be seen
Yeah.
on these platforms are fighting for the algorithm to have them be seen. And here you could have your own community. And I think like what comes up for people is the energy it takes. And the thing that's so nice about, I'm not, I believe all the platforms serve their purpose, but like I've been playing on TikTok and I find that if I want to see engagement, if I want to see movement, I have got to be over there posting and posting and posting and posting. Like a lot of posts
Yeah.
is where I'm finding like people are coming in. And so, there's a difference in how we do it on Facebook. In and so part of me says, depending on the age, you find a lot of people still are on Facebook. The stat is 1.8 billion are using groups actively daily. That's the stat. So pretty big to keep it from being crazy and noisy and simple, because if you bring people into your community, they're going to see your stuff, your content. It's really finding the groups that have the right fit for you. And that might take going through a few and just kind of looking around and seeing, and you'll find them. They're there. There's so many. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, God, that's so interesting, especially the whole on TikTok, like what is it, 4 times a day or something? Last I heard was, if you want to do well on TikTok, you're doing that. And I mean, I guess it's different because it doesn't have to be fully edited. It could just be talking to camera stuff, but still, it's just,
Well, and
it's,
Facebook's like that. Facebook doesn't need you to be professional or aesthetic. Like, and that's the thing is like, who's the people that are sitting on this Instagram platform that are like, I'm just not an aesthetic person, or I just need to just be
mm,
me and get on and talk and do my
yeah,
thing, or ask a simple question with a color block versus like really diving into creating this very well thought content. And I think you still need that, but you can simplify. And if you're a mom like I am with twins, and capacity, your brain, your mind, your lifestyle, like Facebook is probably the much better fit.
mm,
I mean, I think you can get away with that on Instagram a little bit. But yeah, TikTok and Facebook, they're similar in that way where
yeah,
stuff that is just so simple you're telling your friend is what they want you posting on TikTok. Like just come on and talk,
nice. Yeah,
They want a lot of it. Like five
yeah,
days, like today I have not had the chance because I've just been busy. Whereas inside of a community, I've been able
yeah,
to ask people questions to create conversations. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of like how I see it, but I do think they all serve a purpose and I think they're all great.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what kind of brave things do you have going on for you at the moment in your business for you? Like we talked about how you got here and everything. What brave moves? How are you growing? Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm being brave by playing on TikTok and being
Yeah, I
brave.
salute
uh,
that.
yeah, like, and even Instagram, like I am not on there. I put up content. I really try to figure out how that works. to, and I know I could just kind of probably stay on Facebook and it'd be fine. But I do that, which is a pretty brave move because I've been on Instagram for years and I've never really been able to navigate what that whole process. And I know there's so much strategy to that, from the photo to the lighting to the content or the caption to the hook to, and it's just a lot. And so, mom of twins, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if that's my thing, but I'm on there and it's a very brave, I think a very brave move. I was really nervous to get on calls like this, to talk on podcasts, to speak. And I have had the courage to reach out to big influencer might be the word, big coaches might be a better word, who've got really large followings, and say, hey, I would love to do a guest training for you. Like, these are some scary stuff. And it was really cool. Yesterday, one of them actually was like, hey, maybe you could come in and do a guest training for us. And I was like, so, like, little by little, I've been like putting myself out there and getting, like, looking at, next week I go speak at a live event here locally in Arizona. So yeah.
Coaches, if you're feeling frustrated that you're doing all the things but still not signing clients, this is for you. You're a new coach, you know coaching can change lives, and you're ready to sign your first 2 or more high ticket paying clients already, but it's just not happening. You're posting content, you're showing up, but your inbox is crickets, while your coach friends seem to be signing clients left and right with ease. You're starting to wonder, is it my offer, my niche, or maybe is it just me? Well, let me tell you, it's not just you. And you don't need another freebie or some vague advice that's not going to work for you. You need a clear, repeatable strategy and support that gets you focused on the right tasks. That's exactly what we do inside the Brave Coach Breakthrough, my 3-month one-on-one coaching program for new coaches who are ready to finally sign their first 2 or more high-ticket clients. We blend practical marketing foundations with the mindset work that actually gets results, because I know what it's like to think, who am I to be a coach? Can I really charge that much? I don't want to be too salesy. And my clients, they've been there too, and I've helped them move through it. Like my client M, who signed her first 2 clients in 60 days without a big launch. Another client D, who booked her first discovery call within 3 weeks of working with me and signed her first paying client a few weeks later. Or Tracy and Jess, who launched their first group program, signed their first 4 clients, and doubled their investment in me. You can do this too with the right support. We'll build your signature coaching package, clarify your message, the exact words you want to be using, and create a client signing strategy that feels like you, feels like the right fit for your personality. The whole program is designed to double your investment and make sure you have repeatable systems to keep signing clients well into the future. I have 4 spots open at the time of recording, but these will go fast. Book your free strategy call at tiffanyGstudios.com, Tiffany, G for golf, Studios.com, or find me over on Instagram at Tiffany G Studios, exact same spelling, no spaces, no underscores, and DM me the word breakthrough, or just say, hi, I heard you on the podcast. You can be the coach who gets paid to change lives. Let's make it happen. Nice. That's awesome that you're like starting to speak more and everything. It's interesting that that's your area of bravery at the moment, since you've had quite a lot of experience at going and talking and traveling and talking and that kind of thing. What's the brave part for you in terms of speaking about this now in these places? Like what's the comfort zone, or the part where it's your edge, I suppose, or if you don't
Um,
mind me asking.
no, you're good. I'm thinking through, like, I think it's me and my approach to, it's so fun for me because there's, I don't want to say so many people, but there's definitely an interesting amount of conversation where people are like, Facebook business, and they just kind of like look at me like I'm crazy. But then when they talk to me or they've heard me
Mm.
share, the kind of results I've created and have helped others, the kind of like the approach that I take is very different, because most people see, promo, promo, promo. You got to pay to post. You got to, what else? You can't post, like all these different, you can't pitch, you can't do all of these things, right? And I think that my approach is very different. And so I believe that's what really does make me stand out, because a lot of people who would have never thought of creating a community actually end up doing it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing for me with creating the communities is the time factor. Like the way I was taught to create communities is, you got to be in there all the time, replying, and especially in the early days, I know, like one of my first Facebook communities, like one of my earlier business attempts or my niches was helping introverts. And
Ooh.
that's not the most fun place to build a community, like a Facebook community around, because introverts don't interact. Like they'll look at everything, but they won't interact. They won't comment. And so then the group looks dead, and it's really hard to get new people to sign up. Like,
Well, and
so,
you know what I find interesting about that is this is a lot of people's frustration, but like my thing is if they're converting it, so I teach free and paid. So we have two different,
no.
but if the free is converting,
Yeah.
why do we need the engagement to be at some specific crazy level because
Mm.
that's where some of these 100,000 member groups, or I mean, even 10,000, they're like so engaged and so insane that it's people are just like, oh my God, there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
So I always say to like, just kind of, it's okay if they're just watching.
Mm.
That's totally fine. They don't necessarily need to engage, but you also could create a little bit of personal in there and bring that. I mean, that's community for you, right? Like
Yeah.
go to the coffee shop or go to the park if you're a mom, like, and you're building that connection. And while you're at the park, you most certainly are not like doing this business thing. You are finding out how the weekend was. You're finding out or something's happening here in the US, we have the Super Bowl, the football, big Super Bowls this week, right? And so I could be like, are you team Eagles or team Chiefs? And different things like that will help them come out of their shell and talk back without being like, they're going to sell to me or they're going to I'm going to embarrass myself. Like it just creates that's the thing that I believe sets me apart is I'm having you look at it really differently and not just be all business all the time. I'm telling you to let's really make what is a community. Like, what is it like when we're in person? If we're at a live event, we're a mixture of conversation around what you're wearing, like, oh, that outfit's so cute, or where'd you get those shoes? Or we're talking about the travel here, where we're from. Like community is all about, that mixture, and
Yeah.
community is about giving your people a space to be seen, and allowing them to facilitate and allowing them to have that conversation. So telling them to introduce themselves, telling them, having them kind of answer questions that pop up and stuff, and facilitating that, which actually takes the pressure off you, the time. I know you didn't ask this, but I don't believe it takes a whole lot of time. I think maybe an hour a
Mm.
day, if that,
Yeah.
to facilitate conversations and connection. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah, and that's definitely it's interesting because it can be the things that have gotten into my head in the past, like the stories we tell ourselves of like, oh, it's so much time, or yeah, and like I know for me at the time, back in the earlier days when I was doing groups, I wasn't sharing a lot of my personal stuff and, just things outside of business. Like it's just for me, that's one of my things. Like I do more now, but it's still always a struggle. Like I'll be in the middle of a meal and be like, oh, I want to take a photo of this, but I've like half eaten it or something. And it's just
yeah.
like, yeah. Whereas now, like I'll just post that and tell people, but it's just like, yeah, doesn't always come easily to me. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Mm. Okay, so you mentioned a couple of times that your approach to building Facebook groups and using that for business is different. What is different about your approach, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I mean, really, like what we just talked about is really one of the biggest things that's different from others. Like others will create the same engagement type of questions and they're like, drop your IG handle, drop your Facebook
Yeah.
group, drop your offer, drop your promo for the afternoon. And they're white noise and they're boring. And don't get me wrong, there are people and they're all talking and it it's an interesting dynamic for me to look at because I don't have like this busybody, insanely crazy busy community like that. I've never created that kind of. I have created the like vibe that is we come in, we check, we look and see what's going on, we get on with our day. I mean, that's really how I've done it. And I've done it, I mean, that's been what I've spoken on for all the people I've mentored is like, hey, you're a mom. The 9 to 5 thing is not for you. You want to create something different. This is not meant for you to be glued to your computer and doing this all day long. When I look at like TikTok or in these other platforms and I think about I need to come up with 4 posts in video form
Mm.
that I'm either talking or sharing something. And don't get me wrong, like I've definitely taken on the challenge, but to be consistently doing that day after day after day is highly impressive. And my kiddos are a little bit older, but yeah, I'm looking at like how I can help you simplify, put up some content, create that conversation, connect with these people that are coming in, go out and, get connected with people who don't know who you are. There's other things you can do.
Mm.
And then get on with your day. And all of that stuff is like less time because it's simple.
Mm.
And then when we're connecting inside, we're mixing up business, I call it harmony content, business and pleasure, business and personal.
Nice. Ooh, I like that term harmony content. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this as I talk about it, and I'm like, I should talk about it more. I should talk more about what is harmony content because it's a big question that a lot of people have. So
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So like what's an example of a piece of harmony content that you would post then?
so okay, so it's 80 degrees here today.
Mm.
And I have a pool
Yeah.
and I have these puppies, these dogs, which you might have just heard barking a little while ago. But I have these dogs. They are swimmers. They're very high energy dogs. And I might take a picture of them and show them by the pool and kind of integrate the conversation around how we are the beginning of February and it is 80 degrees. I'm literally sweating while I'm outside.
Mm.
And or I might do it as a live video. Like I might just come on live in the community and just be like, say hi to everyone and show the dogs for a little bit and make it more personal, more relatable, make it where people feel they can connect with me and talk about this. And what'll happen is a good chunk of the country is cold and they'll be like, I want to be where you are right now. I want to be where you are. And then that flip flops in the summer when it's 120 in Arizona and people are like, I don't want to be there. That
Mm.
looks miserable. And
Yeah.
so it sounds so basic, but it creates connection. And that's
Yeah.
point. That's
Mm.
community for you. And that builds trust. And then when I'm sharing authority content or my story, right, that I've shared with you and how I was able to build this community and teach others how to do it, that's led to thousands of dollars in sales type of, suddenly you're like, if I want to build a community, she's who's going to help me. And so it works.
Yeah.
That's why I call it harmony content.
Mm. Yeah. It's funny you give that example because I did something similar without like meaning to, because here in Australia it's summertime and we had a massive heat wave and I was recording a podcast, putting on the makeup and my makeup was like it's melting off. I'm sweating it off as I'm putting it on. And I I
I
just
know
did
how
a
it
quick
feels.
story on Instagram about that, and I had a lot of engagement just on
Yeah.
that and sort of that behind the scenes moment, and a lot of people saying they wanted to change places with me, but their cold climates would kill me, so I had to decline
Right.
those offers.
Right. Totally. I come from the cold, so I know, yeah. But that's, do you see how like we're connecting over this, where
Yeah.
trust is being built, and you're like, I really like her. I like her energy. She's like, I'm getting a sneak peek into her world. And yes, we can do this
Mm.
on stories too. It's very similar, except in stories, people have to choose to click to follow us or to watch the story for the day, which I don't
Yeah.
know about you, but I'm not always able to get through everybody's stories. I can only go through
Yeah.
so many. And so then we're at the how do I get more eyes on my story? So in a community, though, we're able to get people in and they'll check when they check. And it's going to
Okay.
always, it's like
Mm.
evergreen. So that's that. Again, I'm on stories. I use stories. I'm not, every platform is amazing. This is not,
Mm.
get off either one, but it's definitely like if you need the most simplistic
Mm.
platform,
Yeah.
like this is the way.
Nice. Okay, all right. So I know you talked at the beginning about getting started in business, and I'm aware of the time. I thought I'll skip on to the like what you've got coming up in the next 3 to 6 months, bravery, like what brave things you have coming up in the next 3 to 6 months. If
Oh
you're
my.
a forward planner like that, or however you think. So,
I think if I was a forward planner, that would be very brave of me. I am definitely getting better at doing that. I was used to different type of work for a long time that was simple. Like I said, like everything's always because I have twins. They're two kiddos and they've been with so I've been in business for 14 years online come April 1st. So here in the next like 60 days, I
yeah,
can tell you technically speaking, I've done business online for 14 years.
yeah,
And 12 of those 14 years, I had these twins and they were born. I went through infertility. Everything just had to be so simple for me. So a lot of bravery that's, planning and scheduling and getting more serious and looking at really taking this to like a next level as a business of my own is very brave to me. Like, holy moly, like this is pitching myself to be on podcasts, talking
mm,
to big coaches who I'm just a small somebody and saying like I feel like I could add a lot of value to your podcast. I feel like I could add a lot of value to your community. Like I that those are things that I'm working on and doing one day at a time. And even just like the expansion of one-on-one coaching and really looking at like creating more long-term containers for the clients because social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever we're on, is a long game. It's
yeah,
not a couple of calls with me and you're good to go. Like originally I was thinking that's what it was, but what I've learned is it's more of a long game. So I've looked at like the idea of expanding my one-on-one and or maybe I should have done that in the first place, and just all these different little things are is such a brave like getting the content out there was a brave move. And now that I've really gotten good with that and comfortable, you know, it's these little, things
yeah.
that seem semi scary, but we're doing it.
Oh, okay. I love the brave moves that you're taking and all of those steps that you're taking. I had another thought of a question because we've got a little bit of time left. So, my question is for people who are following you who like want to do the Facebook group thing, what brave steps do they have to go through to get the Facebook group strategy working?
Do you mean like working with me or do you mean like some steps that they could take?
Oh, well, I was thinking like, well, yeah, there's the brave steps they would take to get Facebook set up, and if
Yeah.
they were following your directives and your strategy,
Gotcha.
and yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So, first of all, your Facebook group name is searchable Facebook actually has a search engine with the name of your group. So if you've named your group the Goddess Green Corner, nobody's gonna know how to find that or what the heck's going on in the group, so nobody will join. So one of the cool things about that is for lead generation is you're able to generate actual ideal leads if your group name is very specific to the lead, and that helps you sort leads, right?
Yeah.
The right people are going to come in, the wrong people are going to stay out. So that's one, is we want to make sure we have a great searchable name. Two, we want to do like a launch. We want to tell people about this group that are already in our circles, and we want to consistently talk about this community at least twice a week, right? So even on the other platforms. So for example, today I picked up, I think I have like 10 new Instagram followers. And if I do not say I have a group where you can come in or post about it, talk about it in my stories. If I let the next 3 weeks go by and don't talk about it, they're never going to know I have a group. They might see the content of me talking about it, but we need to be very clear. So we need to tell people we have a group, even on our other platforms, I think, because again, like I have all these new followers, but are they going to click to watch my story? They might go through it. Different things change where like we haven't caught up with each other. I haven't, and there's so much more to that conversation, but just saying to people like you have this group will help you grow it. So launching, making sure that you have a searchable name, your description's important. Because people are searching, like they're searching for groups to ask questions, they're looking for support. So creating a group and having the courage to really do something with your community could be huge for your business. So those are like the top. Your Facebook profile. Facebook and Instagram are very different, or not different. They're different in visual, but they both have like the bios and different things like that you're able to optimize. So I encourage optimizing your main profile as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a lot of brave moves there. I think there's probably some bravery, or at least my experience has been, it's like kind of stepping up to be the leader of that group, or sort of, I mean, like I know you can encourage the community to contribute and everything, but then there's still a certain leadership that comes from
Yep.
you as the group, builder, organizer, owner, whatever word you want to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, all right. So, Lyndsi, thank you so much for all of your amazing stories of bravery. This has been really insightful. There's also been a ton of other questions I wanted to ask you on Facebook groups, but I wanted to keep it like not just me selfish going, tell me
You can
more.
always do this again. I could come back and give more in depth.
Because for me, I mean, like I've had a couple of tries at doing Facebook groups, but I just always the pressure to have to be like entertaining every day and things like I feel it more in this Facebook group than I ever do on the other platforms for some reason. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely some mindset work for me to go through for sure.
That's so great. That's wild to hear because I see it the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, probably would have helped me if I'd have seen it the opposite too. Then it would have been easy.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess for me, it's like if somebody finds your stuff on Instagram, they're on Instagram to see content generally. They're probably not coming over to see, oh, what's Tiff got going on? But when it comes to somebody logging into your Facebook group, they really are kind of going, oh, what's Tiff's got going on? What's Tiff's community happening? And yeah, then like for me, that's just used to be more pressure in my mind. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a hustle and grind period of time, and I don't think I could, if I wanted to, be in that space because of being a mom of twins, 2 babies, got to feed them, so much structure. It had to be simple for me from day one, and it worked and it duplicated really well. And so I think that's definitely what makes it very different for me. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So, of course, we'll have links to all of your stuff in the show notes. But for people who are like me, who are like, screw the show notes, I'm just going to go straight to wherever. Where's the best place for people to find you?
Yeah. So my Facebook group is called Successful Business Women. And you can find me there. I am on Instagram at Lyndsi Weise Official. I'm definitely, my name's spelled differently, Lyndssi. So, but yeah, I'm on Instagram. I am on TikTok and don't know what I'm really doing over there. And it has nothing to do with business. I'm just talking about products that I love.
Nice.
I'm over there just like, hey, I got this amazing sauce for my meat. You should try it type of thing. It's not anything to do with business. And we'll see
Nice.
how it goes. So yeah, I'm on TikTok if you want to
Yeah.
on that, but it's very different than me teaching Facebook group, which is where inside of the Successful Businesswoman community.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much for all of your time and your stories. It's definitely inspired me to take action for sure. So, if you're a new coach who's ready to finally sign your first 2 high-ticket clients, but you're stuck wondering what you're missing, then the Brave Coach Breakthrough is for you. It's my 3-month one-on-one coaching program where we blend strategy and mindset to help you confidently sign clients without feeling salesy. Spots are limited. Book your free strategy call now to see if this is the right fit for you. Come over to tiffanyGstudios.com, TIFFANY G for golf, STUDIOS.com, or find me over on Instagram at Tiffany G Studios and DM me the word breakthrough to get a link to book your call. Let's get you paid to coach and change lives. Thanks for listening to the Business Bravery podcast. Has this episode inspired you to do something brave? Even if it's only send a difficult email, please share it with me on Instagram or other social media channels. Feel free to tag me at Tiffany G Studios. That's TIFFANY G for golf, STUDIOS, no spaces, no underscores, etc. Or you can use the hashtag Business Bravery Podcast so that I can cheer you on and together we can inspire other coaches and course creators to do brave things in their business and life. Now, I'm Tiffany and I'll leave you with this one last thing. What's one brave thing you're going to do today? It doesn't have to be big. Even the smallest steps can create the most massive results. So again, feel free to share it with me either publicly or privately so that I can cheer you on. That's it from me. Until next time, bye for now.